This next game, okay, Chiller. Now you know about you probably have a few things to say about this one. Okay, let's first go through the intro for it. Okay, first released in arcades in 1986. Also released on the NES. Developed by XCD for the original arcade port. It's an unlicensed game for the NES in 1990. Released by American Game Cartridges in the U.S. and in Australia by Home Entertainment Supplier. So it's one of the few unlicensed Nintendo games on the old Nintendo system.
Wait. Was it compatible with the light gun?
Yes, standard. You would use the standard NES zapper for it.
That is sick.
This was a very controversial game, and you must play as a torturer who must mutilate and kill helpless victims in dungeon and horror movie settings. The main objective is to gain points as fast as possible by shooting moving targets and any of the people on the screen. The more gore, the more points. Finding ways to activate the various torture devices result in quicker, bloodier deaths. Okay, before we go to that.
Yeah, I just want to say that, like, any game that's released, like Bloodborne, Demon Souls, anything like that, this is like 10 times like more brutal, I think, just seeing.
Right.
And I saw this game when I was like, what, 9, 10, and I got that image burned in my head of like what you're about to see.
I played it in the arcades around when I was about around the same age, around 1988, 1989. I was about 9 or 8 years old, and it was in the arcades at Myrtle Beach. It was arcade there, and I played it. It was pretty weird. It was a weird experience. Here's the footage.
Freaking brutal.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Zombie.
Sure it was.
Yes.
I understand.
That's not a zombie. Okay, that's screaming.
Alright, that
would be better use a zapper or...
That right there is creepy.
Basically, you just cause blood and guts on the screen. And keep in mind, this game was released in the late 80s, so this was extremely controversial for its time. Yeah. The more blood, the more points. Kill the bats, torture the human victims, yeah.
Oh, that splatter's just kind of
good
shooting! I like the vintage sound of the music, though. That is even added effect creepy.
My aunt and uncle saw me playing this, and they were laughing at me while I was playing it. I mean, it was both a hot mess and pretty cool at the same time. There's an alligator biting the guy's legs off. Yeah.
When you hear them laughing and the screams, that is. Oh, notice he didn't scream for that last bite because he's already dead.
That's basically what you have to do in Chiller.
Does it show the last stage?
The last one. Yeah, it does. We just kind of move on to that.
I'm just saying, that game was released back in the mid-late 80s.
Yeah.
That caused no controversy or anything like that.
And the reason why is because very few arcades wanted to buy it in the first place. They refused to put that into their business. They didn't want any kids playing that. So it had extremely poor sales as far as arcade cabinets. So it's very rare, if not yes.
Did it ever make it on cartridge?
NES, which is extremely watered down and it's horrible. Don't even go think about playing that one.
But it's unofficial, right?
It's unofficial, yeah. And I haven't played that, but I've seen, whenever you go to the old video stores back then, you could rent games. I would always see it on the shelf. Nobody ever rented it either. It was always there every time I went there. So, okay, next game. This is one that sure you all know, Castlevania, Devil's Castle Dracula in Japan. First released on the Famicom, September 26, 1986. Also released on NES, arcade, and Commodore 64, Amiga, and DOS home computers. Simon Belmont encounters Count Dracula's castle, which emerges in the physical realm every 100 years. Simon battles numerous characters that represent classic Western horror, including Frankenstein, Igor, the Mummy Man, the Phantom Bat, Queen Medusa, and the Grim Reaper.
I'm pretty sure you mean Frankenstein's monster.
Right. But, you know, details, whatever. Details, schmeetails.
Hey, Micah, actually, Trevor is the first Belmont in the first series.
Yeah.
Right. But the other games, those are prequels to the original. We got Castlevania before. We got that. So we'll get into Trevor's exploits. But let's see some of the accolades for Castlevania. They're pretty extensive. Let's see. It was re-released for the Wii in 2007. Then the 3DS in 2012, and the Wii U Virtual Console in 2013. So you can still play it today. It was rated the 22nd best game made on a Nintendo system in Nintendo Power's top 200 games list in 2006. Nintendo Power listed it as the 14th best NES game in August 2008. Game Informer rated it the 48th best game ever made in 2001. Electronic Gaming Monthly rated it the 51st on their January 2006 top 200 games of their time. IGN rated it 19th on their list of the best NES games. So it has a lot of clout. Castlevania is a great game. We'll show some footage of that.
The music is awesome.
It is.
That's timeless.
I always hated that sound.
Alright, this is as far as I ever made it in this game ever.
Will you what? For you?
This is pretty much as far as I made.
Play it again, man.
Okay, you're gonna see the part where I always die right here. You just skip right to it.
Oh, the trap. It's coming. I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When you kill, this thing is like horribly.
It's not hard. Medusa. Yeah. Stop time beater using.
That's good. We put that watch there.
And the fishmen, they are the creature from the Black Lagoon. That's kind of what they would deal with.
Yeah, nobody really.
See which one it is.
That was,
Here's Frankenstein and Igor. Yes.
pronounced Igor. This is a clean run.
Yeah, how about we go to Dracula?
Yeah.
Let's go to Dracula.
Wow,
That's three. That's his first form.
that's a little taxing for just this.
That's the holy water. Using holy water item. That's Best way to beat him.
Yeah, have you played Harmony HD? Harmony of the Spirit?
I started with the first time.
The online one.
All right, that was first Castlevania. Moving on to the next one. Simon's Quest. This is the second Castlevania, Seal of the Curse. First released on the Famicom on August 28th, 1987. Also released on the NES and Microsoft Windows. Let's see. On November 16th, 2002, Simon's Quest was part of the Castlevania and Contra Konami Collector Series in North America, a PC port of the original Konami games. Let's see. Yep, Nintendo Power ranked it as the 15th best Nintendo Entertainment System game. IGN cited Simon's Quest as a perfect game to play during 1989. Okay, the cover. It was on the cover of a Nintendo Power magazine. It was on the cover of the second issue of the September-October 1998 with Simon holding Dracula's severed head. This led to many telephone complaints from parents of children who purchased the magazine, stated that it gave their children nightmares.
Well, then they did their job.
Wait till you see the ending of the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see back.
What a horrible night to have a curse.
Right.
Every night is a horrible night to have a curse.
And unfortunately, I don't have footage of the second game because we had some downloading problems. There was an error with that, and I wasn't able to get the footage of that.
Yeah.
But let's see any other information I can have for that. Let's see. Okay, it was a bit different from the original Castlevania because in this one it was you could backtrack and go to different levels over again, and you could search for items and solve clues. And the object of the game was setting shortly after the first game. Simon Belmont is on a journey to undo a curse placed on him by Dracula at the end of the previous game. With Dracula's body split into 5 different parts after his defeat, Simon must find and bring them to the ruins of his castle to bring him back to life, and then to finally defeat him again. So it was like a slightly RPG adventure-ish, also mixed in with action game traits too.
If I remember, it was like the rib, the eye,
The nail.
His heart, right?
the ring,
Yes, his ring. Yes.
and the sirloin. I don't know.
No.
What's the last
The sword
one?
one.
It was the nail.
The nail. That's it.
Yes, his nail. Yes. Okay.
And
Right.
that's all you need to make a Dracula.
Yeah.
And Chemical X. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Next game. This is a pretty rare Castlevania game. It was only released in the arcades in Japan. It's called Haunted Castle, Devil's Castle Dracula. February 1988. In a slightly different plot from the original Castlevania game, Simon Belmont must rescue his wife Selena from Dracula. It was re-released on the PS2 exclusively in Japan. It's part of the Oritachi Game Center Zoku collection on May 25th, 2006. There's some artwork of that. There's an arcade cabinet.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
It's like, said we have a blonde chick and a men's t-shirt and a men's button-up. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice addition.
Let's see. I have footage of that. Haunted Castle.
Were we in Vegas?
No.
We don't see that. Sorry.
Hey, does that look kind of Mario related?
His chick got stolen.
Hey, it looks Mario related.
He has swag.
Oh my god.
It looks Mario.
He looks great from the, transitioning from the tuxedo to loincloth.
Hey guys, you notice that's exactly how Bowser still speaks, right?
You're right.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're right.
Just a little bit spookier.
Oh yeah, I like the transition to the wedding march to Alright, yeah.
Medusa again, yes.
Officer Mizume. thing I've noticed about this is that the stages look super hard, but when you get to the bosses, they kind of, I don't know if it's that's cool. Music's awesome.
Those are, I guess, mudmen, like rock monsters, golems.
The only thing wrong with that picture, the golems are the exact same color as the background, and you can't see really anything about it. This guy's doing a good job.
Anyone else think that dragon looked like it came out of Monty Python?
The dragon.
Oh, let's let him in. Let's let him
Yeah.
in, by all means.
Whoa, come in.
I want to get where you get. Turn off the lights. Yeah, I guess it's
And,
yes.
yeah, this is a very famous vampire killer theme song from the Castlevania series.
What?
It's cool hearing a harpsichord, but I always loved the.
Be careful, bro. That was, that's a hard part in the game, obviously. It's a tough part. This is a very weird part. You walk through a portal and you're attacked by harpies, like half men, half bird. Yes, you know, harpy, the mythological.
Harpies are chicks, right?
I don't know. I know in that game they can kill you. That's all I know.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Well, just work yourself out.
The glass from the church glass actually attacks you. It's possessed by a spirit.
Dude, that's
Strange.
actually one of the best monsters I've seen. Well, there it goes.
Well, it is made of glass.
Oh, actually, you pulled that one, you showed that one, that boss. I think you skipped over that yeah.
It's only an arcade. He has to go from whip to morning sword, and he has a sword.
It looks so cheesy though. It's like 8 to so 16 bits. Like nope. Not 16 bit one.
To be honest, when I watched this video, I fell asleep like 2-3 minutes.
Oh, is he gonna die? Oh, he made it. Okay.
It's a lot taller when you see him in real life.
Wait, that was it?
No.
Whoa, what? Oh,
Way taller in real life.
Donald Trump, get away from me. I don't want your money.
That's pretty cold, even if you're talking about Donald Trump.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. So that was Trump Tower we just destroyed.
Trump Tower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna clap that one too. I'm really.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on.
Oh god.
Yeah. All right. Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse.
This one's my favorite.
Yes, this is a great one.
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah, it was first released on December 22nd, 1989. Also released on the NES and Windows.
So much hate.
This is the prequel to the original Castlevania. It's the year 1476, and Dracula is terrorizing Europe. The Belmont family of vampire hunters, once exiled from Wallachia, are called into action by the Catholic Church. Joining Trevor in his mission To defeat Dracula are 3 new characters. Grant.
Dynasty.
It looks like Dynasty. It's Dynasty. That's the
I would call myself Dynasty.
Eastern European. A pirate and knife fighter with the ability to climb on walls and change direction in mid jump.
I didn't know he was a pirate.
Well, what happened?
I thought it was a midget.
Okay, I still have the notes here. I can still read from that. Error on PowerPoint. Let's see. Let's see here.
The other 2 characters?
Yes, I only mentioned Grant. There was an error on the PowerPoint. Let's see.
Gotcha. No, like the. Let's see. You have to choose from Grant. I think he's the first one to find.
He is the first one. He was transformed into a demon by Dracula and he took over a clock tower. When defeated by Trevor, he returns to his human form again. Then you have Sypha Belnades, a young priestess and sorceress with elemental spells. She lost her parents when she was young and was found wandering near a monastery in Wachalia and was adopted by the monks. Sypha hid her gender to become a vampire hunter and fought for the Catholic Church to destroy evil, although her sister witches were hunted down by the church as a result of Dracula's scheming because they were a threat to him. She went to destroy Dracula but was defeated by the Cyclops and imprisoned in stone, and Trevor frees her from her curse during the game, whenever you go through the game and play as Trevor. Then you have Alucard. This is his first appearance ever. Alucard, he was Dracula's son, a Dhampir vampire-human hybrid with the ability to shoot fireballs and transform into a bat.
What's that term? Dhampir.
Dhampir, yes. Alucard, he battled Trevor, testing the skills of the hero. Alucard was surprised by Trevor's strength when he was defeated and asked if he could join Trevor on his quest. His human nature, his human side, apart from his vampire side, allowed him to understand the evil of his father. And you can switch between either Trevor or one other helper character during the game. And here's Japanese artwork in there. There's American box art. Nintendo Power listed it as the 9th best NES game ever.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's re-released on the virtual console, so if you have the Wii, you can play that. EGM ranked it number 119 on their top 200 games of their time. Let's see, go back there. We have footage of Castlevania 3.
They've always done a little film-looking.
Yeah, a little film reel intro.
I remember the first Castlevania, it's the castle and then the film reel off the side.
Right, and that's telling basically the story I just told you about how the 15th century Europe. Yeah, the clock tower. What was that?
That's the Metal Man stage from Mega Man.
Yeah, basically, if you think about it, yes, it is. The gears, all the gears turning, all the sprockets and gears, yes, pretty much. I just now noticed that, man. Thank you. I just now noticed. I saw that. Oh, and I have Mega Man 2. I actually own Mega Man 2 as well.
Apparently, starting with this Castlevania, every single one had a clock tower except for the first 2.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's a different route.
Yeah, you can choose your route. You can choose different paths on the map to take. Right.
You do not want to check this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch out for those vegetables.
Like floating jellyfish.
Yeah.
That's, really weird. A lot of weird monsters.
Oh, okay, I remember this from Sophia and
Oh,
Yeah.
you know that one too?
Yeah.
First Castle.
I've never played that one. we're gonna get into that one soon. It's gonna be the next game or two.
Alright, you gotta see that monster.
Who is this? Oh, the mummies. We have to fight
basically camped that mummy, so when he just burst out, he was like, yeah, eat it. Take it.
Here's the Cyclops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have to fight him. You have to fight the Cyclops twice in the game. He appears twice.
Oh, snake ground.
Originally, the first one. Trying to get this is Dracula himself here again.
You see in the right corner that he picks that Whoa.
That's the second form. He has three in this one.
Yeah.
That's multiple, like, rotten heads that are dripping blood on you. That's just kind of disturbing. That's every human he's killed. That's okay. That is disturbing.
I think there's another monster that's we can see is that. Oh, yeah, they can do every individual one.
You have to hit the hit. It's not. Oh, there we go.
Looks like he's seeing it. Big never helped me.
And that's the completion of the game. That noise.
Yeah, this is what I think I'm playing on the show. This. Back to the water with you.
Just having a hard time.
Yeah, Donald's tired. Hey, that's my joke.
How can we live in this timeline?
Yeah, because Donald Trump just obviously takes over the world.
Take comfort in my leathery beast.
He's not human.
He ain't human.
Any sacrifices.
Okay, that was.
He sacrifices housing. See.
Fourth. That was the third game.
But you got plenty of money to put another
You
one.
got 3 endings. You know,
Now.
Cypher's like the it tells the backstory of Cypher, it tells the backstory of the Alucard, which
Right. Yeah, it introduces Alpha, who becomes very, very famous character in other games as well. Let's see, the fourth game, Super Castlevania 4, Devil's Castle Dracula, released in Japan. First released in Super Famicom on October 31st, 1991, Halloween. Yeah. Also released on the Super Nintendo.
Yay.
Yep. There's a cover of it. That's on the cover of Nintendo Power. Super Castlevania is a remake of the original Castlevania. The settings in 1961 Transylvania, where the vampire hunter Simon Belmont must defeat vampire Dracula. It's also on the Virtual Console, the Wii and Wii U. There's some Japanese artwork.
Wait, is he holding a sword in that one too?
Let me see. Yes. No, that's a whip. That's a whip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now.
And there's a Super Nintendo American box art. It was a very popular game when it was released. It sold a little over 500,000 copies worldwide. Nintendo Power gave the game 4 scores of 4.0, 4.0, 4.5, and 4.5 out of 5 total possible points. So it was a very highly ranked game. during its time. Nintendo rated as the game 56 on the list of the 100 best Nintendo games ever. Let's see, got footage of that. Actually, this is on the Super Famicom.
It still has that standard Belmont stride.
No, too late to go. The music is extremely good.
Yes.
The music is extremely great in this game. Yeah. Just keep it nice and
So this is started 2.5D?
No, it's still 2D, but it was just actually. Are you thinking about the stage whenever the screen rotates? You're thinking about that stage, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, it's still 2D. It's just it has Super Nintendo's console. The chip has some very good 2D capabilities. Has good special effects.
Oh,
And you can swing on certain. Use the whip to swing across pits instead of just jumping.
you got some mileage on it.
Yeah.
And I noticed he could attack in different directions now.
Right. And you can swing the whip in 8 different, either straight up, straight down, left to right, or at 4 angles, 4 different angles.
My opinion, this Castlevania, just like the other ones, have amazing long voices.
Yes.
You can tell it's impossible to score in this game.
Can't perfect it, looks like.
And this guy, well,
He is, whoever's playing this is master, the true master of this game. Yes, it is.
Well, that's one way to
Yes, he was using the game to his advantage, using getting him to his advantage. This is the dragon.
oh, Dragon.
Yep. It's the boss.
Okay, that was fun.
That was a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, well. Let's see. Dracula himself. We have to show that we're showing
Oh, it's cool that it reprises Steam too. At the end.
and the sun burns him.
Oh, it just shouldn't have worked. Eek. 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 And stop.
All right. Let's see. Next game. Let's see. Castlevania Bloodlines. This was the only Castlevania released on the Sega console, or the first one released on the Sega Genesis console. It was also released on the Mega Drive on March 17th, 1994.
Go ahead and read that. Oh, go back to that.
What's that?
Go ahead and pronounce that top line.
Vampire Kira. That's vampire killer in Japan.
Yeah.
Right. In 1897, Dracula's reign was ended when he was defeated by Quincy Morris, a distant American descendant of the Belmont family. who stabbed him through the heart with a wooden stake. Because of the wounds he suffered, Quincy died moments later. See, Bloodlines it actually has references to the storyline of Bram Stoker's Dracula. John's father, John Morris, who the main character in the game, he is a character from the novel and film. In the novel, Quincy stabs Dracula at the cost of his life, while Harker cuts off Dracula's head. In the film, Morris is badly hurt in a battle against Dracula's servants. Before dying, he is able to severely wound Dracula, who was then finally killed off. And I noticed that when I was a kid, when I watched the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then I played the game, I was like, wait a minute, there's some similarities here. And that's why I noticed that a long time ago myself. Let's see. In the storyline for Bloodlines, it goes, this is 20 years later after Quincy Morris died, killing Dracula. In 1917, in the ruins of Castlevania, an amateur witch named Dorota Zunetis was dabbling in arcane magic when she inadvertently cast a spell that resurrected Elizabeth Bartley, a countess and the niece of Dracula. In 1421, Elizabeth was found kneeling over a man whose neck showcased 2 puncture wounds. She was tried as a vampire and executed immediately thereafter. Now undead, thanks to Drolata's magic, she wanted revenge on humankind by reviving her dead uncle. Elizabeth dug up his corpse and took it to England. She then orchestrates the beginning of World War I as a sacrificial ceremony that required human souls in order to bring Dracula back to life. John Morris vows to stop her. He wields the vampire killer whip like his ancestors. Then there's also another character in the game you can play as Eric Lecard from Spain. He's a close friend of John Morris. He uses the Alucard spear, which was created by Alucard to unlock the true potential of the vampire killer and fight.
That's such an original name for that one.
Yeah, Alucard. And fight alongside the Belmont line. Eric volunteered to fight alongside his friend John in the hunt. However, he had not told John the real reason he wanted to. The Countess turned the love of his life, Gwendolyn, into a vampire. So that's the reason why he's also, there's also like another character you can play, as they both have direct ties to the storyline in the game. John died. Actually, John dies sometime after the events of Bloodlines. As it was revealed, his wounds wouldn't heal. This was caused by his using the vampire killer whip, which would sap the strength of someone that is not a full-blooded descendant of the Belmont lineage. But by the time John learned this, it was too late. So it has some sort of a bittersweet ending for the main character. Let's see. This is the main villain in the game, Countess Bartley, is based off of Countess Elizabeth Bathory, a countess and serial killer from the Bathory family of nobility of the Kingdom of Hungary. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. Yeah. Let's see. As a review, let's see of hers. Right, she was actually, she was accused of torturing and killing at least 650 young women between 1585 and 1610. So 300 witnesses and survivors, as well as physical evidence and the presence of horribly mutilated dead, dying, and imprisoned girls found at the time of her arrest. Severe beatings, burning, or mutilation of hands, and biting of the flesh from their faces. So, yeah, she had problems. Okay, here's some Japanese artwork of the game. Here. And there's a second. I actually own this game as well, Castlevania Bloodlines on the Genesis. Yeah. And we have footage of that. Yeah, you have to visit the main character.
Oh yeah, I love this stage.
Yeah, you're in the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That's what this stage is.
Looks like they're trying to straighten it out. Battletoads.
Very edge of the screen. Very, very edge.
First, this guy would just walk normally because I want to show the difference between his walk. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah.
Man, that's
Gargoyle.
Sega does with Nintendo.
Featuring World War I sound effects.
What's that?
Featuring World War I sound
World
effects.
War I sound effects. Let's see here. Yep, Dracula.
I figured you'd take a hit from Last Joe and wear a helmet this time, but. Alright, what just happened?
I think he just turned into Jack.
Yeah, he did. And this is his final form. It's basically, again, like a very satanic looking demon.
Is that actually wrong?
Yeah, like he has two face, and he has like a face on his stomach that has like teeth.
Genesis sound, that twang.
Alright, that was Castlevania Bloodlines. Next, we have Devil's Castle Dracula X in Japan. Also, this is a Symphony of the Night Castlevania. Released on the PlayStation March 20th, 1997. Also released on the Sega Saturn. Yeah.
You forgot Rondo of Blood or Dracula X Chronicles. Oh, okay.
Yeah. We can't. There's a lot of games, a bunch of them.
Oh.
This is a huge universe, actually.
Yeah, it's very, very much so. In 1998, Castlevania Symphony of the Night was awarded the PlayStation Game of the Year by EGM, named Game of the Year by PlayStation Magazine, and list of the top 10 games of 1997, and placed 16th on IGN's top 100 games of all time. So yeah, this was a huge game during its time when it was released.
People are still looking for this copy.
Yes.
Oh God.
Ranked 24th in Game Informer's top 200 games ever. See, that's the place. This was the PlayStation box art for it. And in this game, you were playing as Alucard. The setting of the game is in 1796 and features Dracula's son, Dunfrier's son, Alucard, as the protagonist. He enters Dracula's castle with the intention of destroying it. Death stops Alucard by taking his equipment from him, and then he then encounters Maria Renard, a vampire hunter, and Richter Belmont, who was turned evil after being placed under control by a spell from Dracula's servant Shaft for most of the game. After breaking the spell placed upon Richter, Alucard's final battle is against his resurrected father. And let's see, we have footage of that.
Yeah, I got that.
It has RPG elements as well as standard platformer action elements.
I think that's my foot. I think that's my footage. See, I told you Donald Trump
Shell is the one on the cliff.
Well,
That's how he's managed. Oh, and that's interesting right there too.
And this is. Hey, Freddie, this is the footage from this part of the game.
Rondo of Blood, Dracula X Chronicles. You start the game in this final stage of Rondo of Blood, because this is actually Symphony of the Night is a sequel to Rondo of Blood.
And this one you're playing as Richter Belmont.
Yeah, you start off as Richter. And Richter.
You gotta punish him with the power of the moon. Okay.
Yeah.
But enough talk! How about you?
The voice actors too. Randy Brosky.
Technically, this is the best version of Dracula I've ever seen.
Oh no, don't do it that way. Just let Maria come out. Oh, is it
One more hit. One more hit.
No! It cannot be!
wow, that transition. Does the house blow up?
No, well, you gotta play Rondo of Blood or Dracula X to find out.
And now you're playing as Alucard.
One of the best OSTs.
He's got a lot of stuff with him.
This is Alucard purely all about, like, just seeing what's up there.
So I have this theory about Dracula. Like, I think in his previous time he was a fat dude, and he just find all kinds of food around his castle, like pot roast, ramen, and all that, and it's just the remnants of stuff after his diet. So you just find his leftovers, his secret stashes. Tasty. Oh no, you skipped the part.
Wait, you did. Oh, okay.
What? You shall regret those words. We will meet again. What?
That was like that jerk uncle.
Yeah, that's like the biggest tease in video games.
Yeah, the music in this is amazing.
Yes.
Actually, you can get me the EXP from this guy.
All right, we have several more games to cover, so let's move on to the next one there.